All right, so we're continuing. Oh, it's because the mouse is on there. Okay, so on the previous day, we worked on this problem. So let's go further. If you need a refresher on this, the video is on YouTube. I'll give you guys the link to that on Monday. Probably it just as a flyer, so you can go to it at home. All right, section 2.4, creating and solving inequalities. Credit goal, make sense of a problem, initiate a plan, execute it, and evaluate the reasonableness of the solution. Lesson goal. Luis, can you read it?
Make sense of a problem.
Oh, no. Lesson. No worries.
Given a problem in a real world context, create and solve a variable inequalities.
Okay. So before we had a real world context and we were doing one variable equalities, right? Now we're going to be doing one variable inequalities. So the difference between that is just the sign, as we'll see. Creating inequalities from verbal descriptions. So we have the first exercise. Let's match the inequality symbol from the first column to its correct meaning in the second column. So go ahead and do that now. Okay, so one way to tell the difference between less than and greater than. We've seen in elementary school, probably, the alligator, right? The alligator wants to eat the bigger number. So if there's an 8 over here, there has to be something less than 8 over here. So this would read 2 is less than 8, right? And we could do the other way, greater than. So 8.
I learned this other way where less than is like an L.
Oh, okay.
So it's less than the other one is just greater than.
Good. So 8 is greater than 2. So 8 is greater than 2. All right. So there's another way that Luis was telling me, is that you can look at the less than symbol as if it's an L. So this is less than, right? And then the greater than, well, by default is greater than. One other way, we have so many ways to remember this. At every point or corner, go ahead and put 3 points. Now, how do we read English from left to right? So we read this the same way. Does this side have less than or greater than this side? Has less than. So read from left to right. This side here. Hold on. This side here is greater than the right side. So you read the left part first. So it's greater than when comparing to that point. All right, let's see what we put as our answers. Let me go ahead and number these so it's easier for you guys to tell me what the answer is. Okay, less than. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 on the board? Oh, I'm reading the symbol to you. Oh, that's not what I said though. It's 2. I didn't say that is less than, right? No, that's true, because if I say just less than, what does just less than mean? 5 is 5 less than 4. Okay, so if I have 5 less than 4, this is subtracting. But remember, we had a star for this. What are you supposed to do with switch it? 4 minus 5, right? But if I have 5 is less than, go ahead and copy these, because this is something that will always trip you up. This means 5 less than 4. So know these differences. Okay, copy that down. Good catch, because I just said less than. Okay, what about B?
1. I think it's 1.
Okay. What do you think, Luis? For B? It's 5? Okay. So let's see. B is 5. Let's see which one. Alright, so is B is greater than or equal to, or is less than or equal to? So remember, how do you read it from left to right? Right? Oh, okay. So we have B here. So is greater than or equal to, or is less than or equal to. So really it's just whether it points to the left or to the right. Right? So if I look at this symbol here, that bar means the is equal to, right? So it definitely is one of these. Now if I put those points right here, how do I read it? From left to right, just like English, right? So if I'm reading it left to right, does this side have less or more? Less. So what do you think it is? It was between this one and this one. Okay, so we think it's number 5. All right. Let me go back, make it clean. All right, so we said this one was 5. Check your answers, make sure you changed it. If you need to change it now.
Do you have one of those, an extra white or an extra white folder?
Okay, let's resume this. All right, we're on C. So let's go straight to how we figured out. Put the points, read it from left to right. What do you think? Greater than. Okay, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Which one? 4th. Okay, check your answers. So this one's pretty easy because by default, what is this? Greater than or equal to, so it would be number 1. And what about E? It's the only one left. But even if you were to do that first, it's the only one that has an equal sign and a slash through it. So it's kind of, we always see those no signs and then something in the middle, right? So it's kind of the same, but instead of the circle, you just have a slash. Questions? All right, let's keep going. California's learner's permit. How many people have their learner's permit? How many people have their driver's license? Okay, that's a little bit more scary. Tell me when you're going to be driving, okay? I need to know. I need to know so I can get off the road. Oh, no. No, but like when you're on the road, let me know, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, taking the DMV written California permit test. The DMV written permit test contains written questions about California traffic laws, road signs, and rules of safe driving. There are 46 questions on the exam. A passing score is at least 38 correct answers. So we have all of these. Okay, what would happen creating inequalities from verbal descriptions? So what would happen if you change each of the inequalities on the previous page into an equal sign? Would it change their meanings? Oh, I see what we're doing. So we're going to look at each of these and make an inequality. So if you look at the sign, let's do the first one together. So you look at this sign right here. You guys have it on your paper if you can't see it there. And there's a 40 here and an arrow down. So how do you think this is? What are you talking about first? Height. So what variable would you like to use? H. Good job. So H, and then what's the number that we're talking about? 40. Now we have to figure out, is it less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to? Which one out of these falls in here? So go ahead and try each one of these. I'll give you about 30 seconds to come up with something. And then we're going to share answers on the board. All right, so if you're having a hard time making this, basically look at where you're going. You're going down, right? Pick a number that's below 40. Any number.
20.
20. Okay. So if we start there instead of starting with the variable, you have 20 and 40. What out of these would make it the right comparison? What do you think?
20 is less than 40.
20 is less than 40. So it has to be true when I put that there. Can I be equal to 40 on here? I think it might say right. No, it doesn't say, huh? No, I don't think you can be equal to 40.
When I look at it, I think like roller coasters, you have to be 40 or over.
40 over?
Like, that's how I think of it.
Yeah, because they
Like,
would
roller
have kids complaining like crazy if you,
don't, 'cause
yeah.
it's too short. That's
So-
that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I think you'd have too many kids complaining if you don't use that equal sign, right? All right. So 20 is less than or equal to 40. Now that we used the explicit kind of way to solve it, go to your general where you have your variable, and you just put the same thing there. Now we solved it.
So I got it wrong.
You learned how to get it right.
No, I got it wrong.
So you have h is less than or equal to 40.
Okay. So you had to be shorter than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
I was thinking the
if you guys are having trouble making yours, basically pick a number and see what would make sense. Then that helps you with finding your sign, then apply it to the one with the variable. It has to be a true statement. I'm not looking for something that's false. We know that 20 is less than 40, so that's why that worked. As far as the equal sign though, you have to see if it makes sense that it would be okay to be equal based on that situation. So can I have 40 for that? Can I have someone who is just right at 40, right there? He has a big belly. Okay, keep working on it. Okay, so to understand what this is even saying is basically every answer that is under 40, instead of me going through and listing 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, all the way to 0, right? Because we can't be in negative height. So all of these are found in just me writing this. So remember when I told you mathematicians are lazy? This is one of those things. Instead of me writing a whole list every time, especially if the number was bigger than 40, I just write h is less than or equal to 40, and I know everything that is below to 0. And if I wanted to even tell them, well, you can't go past 0, we'll learn later that you can write it like this. Oh, sorry. H less than or equal to 40. Mm-hmm. So we pick the number to figure out what this should be. So to make sense of what's going on, because it's harder when it's just a variable. Okay, so before we continue, I think as we were going through the problems, there's a little bit more explanation that might be needed. So let's look at the answers. You can't see on the video, but on the board, we have the answers to these problems. They all follow a similar, I guess, pattern, we could say. On the left side, we have a variable. Go ahead and copy this down, a variable. On the right side, we have a number. And in the middle, we have our comparison. So right here, we would have a comparison. Actually, instead of comparison, let's use inequality, since we're talking about inequalities. So when we're setting up these kind of problems, we have our variable, so we set h, we have our number, we say 40, we figure out the comparison. So here's one way If you're still confused about, okay, I'll put the 39, 38, pick any number from below and say, okay, we picked 20 before. I could have picked 38. And you got to make it to where it's a true statement. So we said this was the right one. If you don't like this way, there's one other way we can look at this. I can make a number line. And then on this number line, I can have 40 here. Then from there, I can start putting numbers. 39, 41. Which one is a smaller number? And I know I'm looking for smaller because of these arrows. Which one's a smaller number, 39 or 41? 39. So I'm going to circle 40 because that's where I'm at. And I'm going to shoot it to the left. All right? Now I want you to look at this. Everyone ready? You ready? Ready? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. This is exciting. You see this arrow right here? As long as you have the variable to the left, just copy this arrow and put it right here. Means the same thing. And then if this is shaded saying that it's equal, then put a bar. How was that? Man, getting some exploding heads in here. All right, so let's look at this one and do it together. What's your variable you want to pick? So it says senior breakfast, 50 and up members eat free Wednesday and Thursday, 7:30 to 11. Which one do you think we're going to say? What's your variable? S for what? Okay. So we can S for seniors. You could have said E for E. It really is up to you on the variable. This one has a lot of things. You could have put F for free, who's free. Okay, for senior, what number? 50. So we have the 50 right there. Now, let's go back to this number line. And I put 50 here. Go ahead and copy this down on your paper. 51 and 49. Okay, it says 50 and up. Which one? Up means that it's going to be a bigger number, right? Which one's a bigger number, 51 or 49? 51. So I'm going to circle 50, and since it was 51, I'm going to go to the right. Now look at this. Look at this. Is the variable on the left side? Is the variable on the left side? Yeah. Only if it's on the left side can you do this trick. If it's on the right side, you would have to flip it. Take this and just copy it. Now, do you think it has the equal bar or not? The equal bar you got to just figure out based on the application. And up, right? Okay, so it does have that equal bar. Now for your graph, we're going to just jump ahead because you're going to learn this in a future section. You would have to shade this whenever it's equal. If it wasn't equal, you would just keep it open. Go ahead and get your student folder and take out this section 2.4.